Hey guys, and welcome back to the final video of this massive day in which I didn't actually expect when I did these sort of scheduling of videos and whatnot, and when I set up these sort of series that I would do with them. I didn't think there would be a day in which there would be sort of one per day, one per day, one per day, or in this case there will be two and then a gap for a day or two with Christmas or whatever. So I'll have no video on Christmas probably, and then also no video on Boxing Day probably, and then a video on the two videos on the 27th, etc., and then videos on the 28th, and then probably some filler content on the 29th, 30th, etc. when these games come on. But obviously with the 3-day break we get with the 24th and 25th, or 24th will have videos, but 25th and 26th will not. There will be, hopefully that'll be a break for the channel as you guys have Christmas and Boxing Day off. But anyway, that's just looking ahead, but I didn't expect to have to do 5 videos in the space of, and release them in the space of like 6 hours. So there's that. But before we get into this final video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the preview. So as you can see here, if I actually undo my trades, well, I'm not going to undo them, as I said I wouldn't, but you'll see Quinton de Kock coming into the side for Darcy Short. Well, Darcy Short is effectively, actually, this is the swap here. Darcy Short for Sanger, Michael Nessa for Quinton de Kock, basically, and then Menenti for Richardson and Mir for Payne. So you can see, basically, I have turned Short and Menenti, two of my bench players, to effectively Jason Sanger and Usman Amir or Kane Richardson, whichever one you want to look at it like that. By downgrading a little bit, I have gotten two guys that look to score pretty well when they play T20 cricket. So I'm hoping Mir can turn it around as he has done in the IPL or the T20 Blast over in the UK, where he averaged something like 51 or 60 super coach points. So he can do it. It's just a matter of him actually scoring the points. If he can take the wickets, that would be huge. But obviously it will be a little bit nerve-wracking with his availability, given he plays on the 26th at the SCG and could be potentially out for that game, which will be a big bummer, but obviously, so just need him to play. But these guys are the guys that I'm trading in at the moment, and as you can see, I've got enough cashed in that I'm able to get that 13th player, which will help dramatically, I think, in the season when you can do that, as well as also, well, it's also a 14th player in a sense, but you've got, so on the, and now if you look at the side, just mumbling my words a little bit here, you've got Fraser McGurk, Connolly, and McDermott that I don't really like too much. So you've got 3 guys there that I'm sort of, that's why I say 13th guy. I've got 13 guys that I'm happy to play with, or I've got price ranges enough to get 13 guys that I'm happy to play with. If Fraser McGurk and Connolly can get more cash gen out of themselves at this point, then we'll be looking at being able to potentially have 14 guys that I'm really looking at. But if I just quickly get rid of this, because I don't want to look at Cameron Bancroft again, that is an annoying thing that sort of pops up whenever you change that. I did search up Cam Bancroft in this thing, and it continues to pop up even like an hour later. So Josh Philippe, he'll be my keeper. He's better than McDermott, and also he is the guy that I just want playing. As I sort of have to play him, and I don't think it'll be too bad, as I think a lot of people, he is like 58% owned, and he is starting on field for 87% of people. If you look at this, and then I can also just do this because I'll show you how it really is almost negligible. He is owned by 68% of people in the top 1%, and he is 91% on field. So, and then in the top 5%, you'll see some similar split, I'm going to say here, 92 and 8. So really, if I get it wrong with Philippe, everyone around me is going down with me, or 2/3 of the people are going down with me with Philippe. So if he just gets to 20 again and gets a 45, then he's done his role as a keeper. Then we go to Will Sutherland. He is not the captain, as I will be going for Glenn Maxwell. But if he fails Maxwell, then given that I can go here and I can show you, if Maxwell fails, I want Sutherland across 2 games rather than Maxwell across 1. So I will be making that change. If he is to fail in the first game, Maxwell, and say put up a 10, I will change that to Will Sutherland being captain. But I have faith in Maxwell to turn it around, and his score will hopefully be the captaincy score this week. So there's that. Will and Jamie Overton is here just to set up the loops for Sanger and Sanger. Sanger times 2. We've had that with Darcy Short, the shorts. So hopefully we can get that with the Sanger boys. So then you've got Quinton de Kock, and this is a dangerous one. But as we look here at the list, we go back to top 1%. You will see Quinton de Kock is 38% owned, not too bad for a guy that I'm worried about. And then top 5%, he is 36% owned, so not the worst. And then top 10%, because that is really the guys that we're worried about taking over us, he is 34% owned. So it's one of those ones that we said last week with, Matt Short was a guy that you had to bring in, but is one of those guys that is going to be the guy that if he pops off and you don't have him, like a sort of Hardy, it can sort of hurt you. If at this point, with a 38% owned, Hardy was only like 10% owned or something, 15% owned, so he wasn't hurting as much. But if Quinton de Kock goes off and you don't own him, a lot of people are going to jump ahead of you. Whereas if Quinton de Kock doesn't go off as a 38% owned, it doesn't hurt as much. So hopefully he can find his form. I mean, he was really good at the World Cup. So hopefully he can just get going for the Renegades against Hobart and also against Perth. So it seems like he should be able to, but we'll see later tonight if he can. Maxwell captain, VC, but effectively captain if he gets going in the first game. So hopefully he has a good first game and I can lock in that captaincy score and get the top score for the week, because the top player score for the week is my captain, because that is huge. If you can nail your captain, you can gain 20, 30, 40 points on everyone else, especially the people that didn't VC or didn't straight captain, had no way of captaining Matt Short or getting his double points, really did suffer, given that he went 255, was it in total? Something like that. He went huge, 240, 53, something like that. He went absolutely nuts. Then you have Fraser McGurk on field. He should be fine at that position, given that he's able to at least hopefully have one game where he passes 20, which should be at least a 45. He should be well enough to get at least 50 odd points, which should better off than pretty much any of the batters in there, especially given that a lot of the all-rounders are actually off this round, with Overton, Short, Walter off this round. Abbott should be back, so that would be a potential player that could be in that slot that other people have as a differential. But I have Fraser McGurk in this slot here, and hopefully he just fires, as a lot of people will have him on field, I think. No, a lot of people are benching him, but he is going to be starting for me just because I need him to. Given that I've got given that I want to try Sanger's, try and loop Sanger in. Sanger on the bench, Matt Short doesn't matter, obviously. Ben McDermott is a dud. I will potentially even just be loopholing Ben McDermott at this point when he plays, because he just cannot hold the bat to save himself at this point. I might even play Philippi over him in the double. That's how crazy this is going with him. Sanger, 113k. I'm just bringing him in because they've got the double next week, and also because he is a lower risk guy with 34 break even. Projected to get 27, but could potentially get an over or two with the ball. I mean, we've seen, if we go to his 2023 stats, 2022-23, 4 games, 24 points. And we look at that, 44 and then 5 catches. If we look at his 21-22 stats, you'll see 3 wickets there as well, and a run out, as well as 380 runs. The year before that didn't play, and obviously didn't play in 18. Well, did play in 18-19 and had a dot ball as well. So he has bowled before. Don't know how many overs he's necessarily bowled, but if he does get a bowl on top of he's playing the Melbourne Stars as well, at a ground that's really small. If he can get going and get like a 112 or something like that, again, that would be huge. But anything over about 30 points, I'd be happy to take with him. And you can see he plays Brisbane and the Sixers, where he generally has a little bit of an iffy time against, 29 and 24. But hoping he can do well for his double game week as he's coming back from a wrist injury. Richardson is a really risky one at this point, and I just hope he fires for the sake of being a pod at this point. He is being traded out by 0.6%, and he is projected minus 28k cash bin, but hopefully he can put up a 90 or 100 and only make that like a 10k cash loss. I mean, he's 103 difference there for a 28.3 divided by 103, 274. Magic number. That's going to be tough. So yeah, I hope that Jai Richardson can just put up a big score, as his differential could be huge in this round, as a lot of people will just be having Connolly as well as Fraser McGurk as these sort of tiny guys on the bench, these sort of bench guys playing. McDermott potentially playing for a lot of people as well, as they scramble to get out of or to hold these Short and Walter and stuff like Overton as well, but also to be able to get a lot of these double points, as we do have a 4-game round with 2 double teams, so could be really, really big for points wise. Then you've got Adam Zampa, just hoping he bounced back. With 100 break even, it could be tough, but hopefully he just bounces back from the 28 or something last round. Usman Mir, I'm hoping, given what Honeyball is saying and stuff like that, that Usama Mir is playing both games, and if he does, that could really generate some score. And even if he scores like a 70 or something like that, loses a little bit of cash, it should be fine. Honestly, just getting points on the board at this point, especially with the Short, Walter, and Overton break evens that are going to come in the next round. They're going to come back and generate some cash. I'll be looking at potentially even losing cash this round, just because I know that I'll gain 40k, 50k next round just off those Shorts, Overton and Walter. And I mean, you've got Fraser McGurk, Connolly, as well as who else is low break even? Philippi's low break even, and Maxwell should hit his break even. So you've got guys there that should hit their break evens, that should help generate some cash. Then you got Kane Richardson at a 75 break even. Hopefully he plays both games. There is a worry about him potentially being out, but hopefully he plays both games. And if he can, that would be huge, as I mean, he could easily go and score. We've seen it before with him. If you look at his 2022 stats, they're probably not the greatest in 2022. He averaged 46. The year before that, averaged 65. If he can have 265s, that would be huge. Traded in by 1.3%. I think he could be the one that everyone is missing, or maybe I'm just missing something. If you look at teams picked, Usama Mir, Jason Sanger, 2 very, very pod players, and then Richardson at 8.7%, and Jai Richardson still 15%. If we look at the top 1% here, you'll see owned by, and then we go here, you'll see Jason Sanger 0.4% owned. There's 2 of us here that have, and I'm the only one that's traded him in actually. Then you've got Usama Mir at 4.8%, Jai Richardson very low, Kane Richardson very low, and then Quinton de Kock, a huge change there. Top 5%, just want to check this out as well. You'll see, again, Jason Sanger very, very low in the ownership. Usama Mir very, very low as well. Jai Richardson low, and Kane Richardson very, very low, but we'll see how that goes. And then lastly, Cooper Connolly, he is just there to play there at the moment, and he is going to swing around, given he is the last game of the round for the Sangers loopholes. So I can just do Connolly here and Overton over here if I don't like Jason Sanger's score. If I do like Sanger and Sanger's scores, I can just put Paul Walter there and get both of them and just worry about getting the emergency right for that, and not having the emergency on Cooper Connolly. But if they both go wrong, then I just take the highest score and then have Overton loophole as well and hope Connolly outscores them. But anyway, that pretty much is the preview for round 3 team preview. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 2-game reviews, as we have our first, is this our first double day game or something, 2 games in 1 day. So yeah, hopefully I'll get around to doing those reviews on the Christmas Eve. Well, it won't be evening by then, but it'll be obviously Christmas Eve day. So yeah, I'll see you guys in those 2 reviews tomorrow. Anyway, bye guys.